Mr. Dave Caperton, who was a teacher at Hamilton Local Schools back in 1984. And that was my first year in the classroom. And I said, yeah? And she said, oh, Mr. C, I found you. I said, what woman has been looking for me 35 years? This may not be good news. She said, you will never guess who this is. I said, correct, I won't. She said, you had me, you had my younger brother, you had my older sister. You were the first teacher I had when I came to the United States from Cambodia. And I remember my first year teaching there. We had these kids who were really refugees because many of them were orphaned by the Khmer Rouge, the killing fields. And suddenly here they were in this little district outside of Columbus, almost no English. And here they were just she was in my first period class in my first day that I was ever in a classroom. And she said, you were my favorite teacher. I said, is that right? I said, well, that is so nice to hear. And I said, what? Now, why was that? She said, because you were always so kind to me. And I thought, well, I hope I was kind to all my students. I said, but I don't particularly remember anything amazingly kind. What do you remember? What was that? What do you mean? She said, well, I remember whenever I needed help. She said, you would get down on one knee at my desk and you would help me. And I thought, well, yeah, I don't specifically remember that, but I do remember that whenever the kids from Cambodia had a question, they had almost no English. I was going to be there a while. I'm just getting comfortable. That's really all I was. But here's what she saw. She saw somebody literally getting on her level. She saw somebody who was seeing her, recognizing her, maybe even felt like a welcome. And so she remembered it for all those years. And so I said, well, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much this means to me. She said, yes, I was just remembering. She said, I had a big crush on you. I said, oh, did you? I said, well, that's sweet. She said, yes, I saw your website. I found it. I saw your picture. You changed a lot. I said, we were doing so well. But that's the way it is. I mean, the ripple effects. Your service is going to have ripple effects. And you know what? If there's ever anything that we need to be joyful in, it is in the education. That learning should be fun.